Hey, Allie. You ready to answer some questions?
Yes, come on in.
So, are lash extensions bad for your natural lashes?
They definitely can be. If they're done improperly, they definitely are. But if they're done correctly with the right isolation, right weight, they're not going to damage your natural lashes.
Cool. Why would somebody not have good retention? What are some reasons?
Oh wow, there's a million reasons, but the main reason I would have to say is not having a proper connection from the lash extension to the natural lash. So not getting your angles right with the bases and not using enough glue. There's also obviously like aftercare stuff that you have to pay attention to. If you put an extension onto a dirty lash, maybe it has eyeliner, eyeshadow, mascara on it, whatever, you're not gonna have good retention then either. So you need to make sure you're putting it onto a clean lash and then also using the proper weight. If it's too heavy, you'll have really bad retention, they'll fall off prematurely. There's lots and lots of reasons, but I'd say number one is making sure that you are getting proper placement from the extension to the natural lash. Should I go right here and show you my desk?
So is Mega Volume too heavy?
It can be. I mean, honestly, the thing with Mega Volume and what I like to tell my students is that if you do happen to put something too heavy onto a client, you'll know it when they come back and they have bad retention. The most likely thing that's gonna happen if you are going too heavy is that those extensions will just fall off prematurely again. And yeah, you'll just wanna go a little bit lighter next time, either less extensions in each one of your fans, or you wanna go down in length to create a little bit of a lighter lash.
Okay, so no 40D fans then.
No, we're just gonna not do those. That's a little too much.
So are people really allergic to the adhesives?
Absolutely. People, when they are allergic to the lash glue, it's because they have an allergy to cyanoacrylate, and that is the base of all of the lash glues. So people will say like, oh, use a sensitive glue on me. But all those sensitive lash glues do is they have a lower amount of cyanoacrylate, which is the active ingredient, and it's the ingredient that's gonna give your client a reaction. So if they are allergic, not even a sensitive glue is going to help. They're just allergic.
Scary.
Yeah, it can be.
So why would someone want to do volume instead of classic?
Honestly, maybe they need something a little bit lighter for their lashes to handle. Classics can be low in weight, but so can volumes. They can both be high in weight. It just depends on how you're gonna do it. But mainly probably because they want a fuller look and they want something that looks a little bit more natural. I feel like you can make volume lashes look more natural than a classic look.
Totally volume, baby.
All the way.
So what's the difference between Russian volume and volume?
So Russian volume is, if you're gonna do like a true Russian volume, there's a lot of kind of like rules around it, and it's a very specific technique, I should say that. It's going to always be 0.07s, and you're going to pretty much always use narrow fans, and they are going to be perfectly symmetrical. Most of the time people, to create this perfect symmetry on the fans, will pre-make their fans, and that is kind of more of a Russian volume look, whereas just with volume, like a regular American volume, kind of what you would see around the States, is going to be a little bit more forgiving. Maybe you'll have medium or wider fans, and you can use different diameters, not just 0.07s, but 0.06s, 0.05s, 0.03s. 0.03 and 0.02 and 0.04 I'd say is getting into like the, maybe like a technical like mega volume realm.
Okay, well that helps me understand a little better.
Oh, good.
Who's that behind you?
This is Paul. He runs the Lash conference and also Lashcast podcast, and he's a good friend of mine. Him and his wife Tuscany always put together the best events and trainings and their podcast and everything, so we're just buddies. We took this to the Lash conference and we had everybody sign his face.
I love that so much. I think my name is on his nose somewhere.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is. So does mascara really ruin lash extensions?
Yes. So mascara has some basic ingredients in it that will really throw your your lash game off. It has kind of like waxy residues in it. Almost all mascara does. And what it does is it coats the lash, the natural lash, and it's almost irreversible. Like, you cannot get mascara off. And when you use mascara, that's another situation that's going to cause you bad retention. And it also, if you have volume, what it's going to do is it's going to close those fans. And it's so hard to get out of the lash extensions. That's why we just recommend not using it.
We cannot have closed fans here.
No closed fans.
No, thank you. So, can I use hair or nail extension glue for lash extensions?
No! But I have seen this before. Unfortunately, I had somebody come to me one time and they told me that their friend had used nail glue to put on their lash extensions, and I didn't have to look at it for more than 10 seconds before I was like, I'm not touching this. I don't think my insurance covers this. I'm sorry. They were super close to her eyelid too, so I was worried about it. And she ended up having to go to the emergency room. I felt really bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a true story. But no, and then hair extension glue, also not recommended. That glue is made to go on a scalp, not on your eyes. You don't want to use anything that has not been tested for your eyeballs. Your vision is really important. Wait, should I turn on the light?
Oh yeah, maybe. Oh wow. What happens if you glue an extension to 2 lashes?
Ooh, this is a really good question. This is a matter of isolation, which is the most important part of putting on eyelash extensions. But what happens is your little hairs grow at different times in different stages. So if you glue a hair together, a lash together with another lash that, let's say this one's shorter. This one could be in catagen stage, whereas this one's in anagen stage. And anagen means that it's just growing in, whereas telogen means it's all grown out, it's an adult lash, and it's gonna fall out soon. So what happens is if you glue these two together, not only is it creating weight because you're putting an extension on there, but now you have this lash that's about to fall out and die, pulling on this lash, and it could really just pull that lash out prematurely in the anagen stage, and that's where you create damage. And I don't know if you ever overplucked your eyebrows in the 90s, but that's really a sketchy situation to get yourself into.
Yikes.
Yeah. Should I just stand my boxes?
Yeah, why not? We're just showing the realities of business. So does...
Scared that was gonna fall. It like started sliding.
That would actually be kind of funny. As long as it didn't hurt you.
Right.
Does humidity really matter?
Okay, this is a tough question to answer. In my experience, I'll just say that. That's my
Disclaimer.
My disclaimer. Allegedly, it does. In my experience though, it hasn't mattered that much. I've always worked in an extremely dry environment, and our humidity is usually between 0 and 15 in the desert. And I've never had to use a humidifier to make glue work, nothing. And I've also lashed in extreme humidities, and it was about the same. If anything, I'd say that your glue dries a little bit faster in a higher humidity area, but maybe by like 1 second. It's not that much of a difference.
Well, thank you so much for answering those questions, Allie. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Lash Anarchist, and you can find me at my website, www.lashanarchist.com.
Perfect. Thanks again.
Thank you for coming by.
Bye.
Bye.